Assalamualaikum. I am Muhammad Dinuzair bin Zainuddin. Today, we will present our group assignment case study, which the title is Managing Conflict in Negotiations for Physicians in Healthcare Management. About conflict in negotiations. Basically, conflict is a phrase used to describe perceived incompatibility that are caused by some type of interventions or oppositions in negotiations or in dealing with something. About our case study, which is physicians in healthcare management, the collaborative relationships in healthcare means that people and group must cooperate to accomplish clinical and management tasks. This increasing interdependence may also cause some increased organizational conflict. Our first key problems in this case study is about personal differences. This conflict arises from differences in values, needs, and level of education of breadth of experience of each physician. This difference of belief in practice autonomy and institution examine variation in practice will arise the conflicts. The second one is informational deficiency. This conflict arising from a gap in informations. Resources allocation decisions are made on the basis of different clinical data. The decision makers may arrive at different conclusions because they have different source, and this will arise the conflict. The third key problem is the role incompatibility. The physicians rely on the result of consultations with specialists to determine the most appropriate course of treatment. But when the specialist does not respond in time, the delay can be frustrating to the referring physicians. Other than that, the dual role as clinicians and managers will arise the conflict. The last one is the environmental stress. For example, the discussion of change in organizational structure. Other than that, any change to existing roles that is perceived to diminish their importance may generate conflict.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Naib bin Abdurrahim. Today I would like to talk about how do they handle key focus problem. Firstly, for personal difference, they set boundaries between workmates. A worker should know the task limit that they can help the senior. If they cross the boundaries, the worker must report the problem to the person in charge for discipline. Otherwise, they will be bullied forever. Secondly is informational deficiency. The decision maker should make extra preparation before delivered to others so that they can handle question and answer session. Deliver a direct and avoid mixed message to someone trustworthy and can give a guidance to the other worker. Through this, the information can be delivered with 100% efficiency. Next is role incompatibility. Each of the department must give a clarity for their role. They must deeply understand their job scope and doing it honestly. Making roundtable meeting is very important as it can confess the unsatisfied about the other mistakes to make it right. Lastly is environmental stress. All workers must recognize and accept the change that have been made. Adopt an attitude of anticipation and excitement and see the change as opportunity.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nurisha Fabit Rusli and I am going to explain the assessment to case settlement and why they choose these approaches to resolve the conflicts. For the first conflict, which is personal differences, the avoidance approach is used because one stake in the issue is low and there is no strong interpersonal reason to become involved. In this situation, all concerned feel that the issue is a minor one and will be resolved in time without any fuss, and because the impact of dealing with this situation may be damaging to all parties involved. For the second conflict, which is informational deficiency, the accommodating approach is used. This is because they want to maintain harmony and a good working relationship outweigh all other considerations since physicians and all the healthcare workers are working under the same roof. For the third conflict, which is role incompatibility, the competing approach was chosen to resolve the conflict. In this situation, physicians and healthcare workers have to stand up for their rights or morals. And since this is emergency situation where quick, immediate and decisive action is called for, unpopular changes need to be applied and discussion is not appropriate. For the last conflict, environmental stress, collaborative approach was chosen to resolve this conflict and is the most effective because it involves organizations and issues are critical and continuing supportive relationship between peers is important and time is not pressing.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Abdullah Izzuddin Badli. So I will do a reflection part. My part is to relate the chosen solution with evidence, either the lecture notes or the reference sources, research or personal experience. The avoidance approach is about taking a break from both parties to think about the negotiation process for both parties to know each other. Next is accommodating approach. That is, communication is the key for the both party to get each other demands. Next is competitive approach. Competitive approach is more towards focus for one party that one it demands. It is quite aggressive. Lastly is collaborative approach. Collaborative approach is constructive, principle and focus that both party will collaborate to get each other's demand. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Zarif Hilmi bin Muhammad Zainuddin. In the last part, I will present about on the important knowledge that has been learned throughout this case study. Based on what has been explained by my friend about the problem and type of approach on how to deal with conflict, we have learned that at some situation in negotiation, we need a wise solution. Each type of approach plays their own role. We just need to know how to handle the situation so that we can reach a goal in negotiation. Sometimes when we were dealing or negotiating, everyone has facing the scenario or situation where it comes to conflict and we don't know how to handle this situation, then we give up. That is why it is important for us that we have this kind of knowledge so that we can apply the approach in our daily life when we have to negotiate something. And that's all from us. Thank you.